Sturgoy, Zach 2.0, Zach 2, Sturgoy 2.0, Zach 2.0, Zach Sturgoy, Zach 2.0, Zach Sturgoy 2.0.
Welcome to Got Your Mail! FX is the Strain Podcast. My name's Bubba. You can find me on Twitter at Fit and Trim. That's FITTENTRIM, at Fit and Trim on Twitter. And with me, as always, somebody blowing up more than a nuclear bomb.
Kaboom.
It's Mork. Mork, how are you doing? You are my man. How you doing?
Oh, Bubba, I am so good. I am so good. And if
You're sure you haven't tasted any poison blood recently?
What's that?
Have you tasted any poison blood recently?
Yes. Good night.
Well, what's your Twitter handle if people want to see and confirm you're doing well?
If they want to confirm it, they can at Extraordinary. That's extraordinary with a W in front of the final R.
We are in the final season of The Strain. The
final season?
The
What?
Vampire apocalypse.
Bubba.
Crazy, wacky insanity. Today we're going to be talking about Season 4, Episode 3, One Shot.
One shot, one kill, babe.
Quinlan and Fett discover that stealing a nuclear warhead is not easy when they encounter an unexpected enemy. F and Alex concoct a new weapon to use against that evil Sturgoy. And, of course, Zach discovers a love interest when he's frustrated with his seclusion.
He's only discovering the love interest now?
Well, he saw her.
Okay.
He discovered her and her desire to eat food.
Oh.
In this episode, Mork.
That is how I make sure that my dates are not Sturgoy. Do they want some of these moldy apples? If they don't, they're probably Sturgoy.
No, these poor people. So, what ranking out of 10 are you going to give to Season 4, Episode 3, One Shot?
Oh, man.
Yep.
I'm going to give it 6.
6?
Double M's.
Double M's?
Meddling Masters.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's playing...
When you're trying to get with your girl and your master won't give you some space and food to get busy with her.
And, you don't have time with your girl because you gotta go get a shot of the white. So, I thought it was a fun episode. There's a couple things that... this show does certain things really, really well.
It does.
And there was something they did something that was like, why don't they do this every week? I would not get tired of. So we'll get there. I will say it does take place in passive aggressive Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think we might really agree on this episode. But my ranking, I'm gonna go a bit higher. I maybe go too high.
Okay.
But my ranking is going to be 8 double D's out of 10.
Double D's?
Well, double D's what I like to refer to about dead deer.
Oh.
And these deers didn't get tongue-wormed. They got shot by those evil humans and their weapons of destruction.
Weapons
and
of mass destruction.
I know what's in their heart, and they are evil.
Well, Quinlan doesn't like beef jerky, apparently. If he did, then he would use some of those weapons. But no. So there is...
so 8 out of 10.
It's a good episode.
There's a lot of good stuff in this episode. There's also stuff that makes the strain.
Yes.
That we cannot, get away from.
Do you mean a series that dares to go big, go bold, and never look back? That's
what I'm talking about.
Or maybe good pulpy fun with lots of action, gallows humor, and dense mythology?
Heck yeah. Now, Mork, that is the strain. We have covered every episode of The Strain, and in this, the final season, the final battle for the soul of this planet.
Yeah.
We are doing something for the people I like to call double L's.
Double L's?
Well, double L's is a term that when you have a tongue worm in, sometimes it's hard to say L's. So you go, loyal listeners.
Oh, okay. All right.
And so our loyal listeners, they have stuck with us, stuck with The Strain all these years.
Shockingly loyal.
So, amen. So what we've decided to do is if you go to iTunes and give us a written iTunes review, or go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/double P podcast. That's the word double, the single letter P, the word podcasts, plural, facebook.com/double P podcasts. And write us, like the page, and then write a note when we post and say, hey, a new Got Your Milk podcast is up. Just write something below that. you're going to be entered to win a really sweet prize. Why don't you tell them what they could win, Mork?
Oh, this is just one example. So I am holding in my hands a beautifully bound, seriously lacquered up DVD collection of season 3 of The Strain. It's a cool little book. Obviously, The Strain is based on a series of books written by the fantastic Chuck Hogan and the super cool Guillermo del Toro. So it is beautiful. It's full of artwork about New York post Zach blowing it up, and it's on the way.
And it is really exclusive because this is something they printed up as part of a FYC for your consideration. The Emmys. They wanted to get Emmys, so they sent this out to people. It's very nice, very exclusive.
So if you want to vote, hurry up and leave an iTunes review or hit us up on Facebook.
Yeah. It's
so
cool.
we can get these to you so you can vote in time.
Mork, let's get to it. Now, we have 3 kind of main storylines that we follow in this pretty darn good episode.
Yeah.
We have the continuing, hey, Quinlan, it's me, Fett.
Gus, what are you doing hanging out? Gus, why are you hanging out?
Hold on, maybe because I'm not used to saying hey, Professor.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Fett.
Hey, Fett. I wonder what happened.
We have the Fett nuclear bomb heist. Mm-hmm. We have the fun in Philadelphia. And we have the pretty in Tongueworm.
Yeah.
The romance in New York City. What do you want to get to first?
I wouldn't mind starting with our friends in North Dakota.
Yeah,
at the near the Air Force Base.
So it starts off.
Silo.
The food would be tough after a nuclear winter, nuclear fallout.
Yeah,
and so we see, hey girlfriend, it's me, Fett, out hunting for food with
You're gonna scare the deer.
Right. Hey dear, it's me, Fett. Our
Fett,
now
we haven't eaten for weeks because of you. Shut up.
Our new bearded Fett out with his side piece, and I'm not talking about the gun.
Hey.
His new lady, and how are you going to get food? Well, you're not going to grow anything. It's still winter. Is this same winter that the plane crash happened in back in season 1? So they're going to go out and eat a delicious deer. Is this venison? What are they eating?
Oh, yeah. They're going to have venison steak, venison tacos, venison lollipops, venison and eggs, venison and tofu.
Right. Let me just put it this way. If Zach 2.0 thought he could get a girl with a couple of pieces of fruit, Fett and a deer.
Well, why the hell?
I
thought he was going to offer her some pieces of that tiger he shot.
That would have been good.
Who wants fruit when you can have? That's people eat tiger, don't they?
So this is a top secret nuclear silo, a secret base thing, as we're told. And Quinlan is all business. He doesn't like any of the flirting that is with Fett.
Or eating.
Now, Fett, I always thought Fett and Satrakian were a good team.
Yeah.
Kind of a yin and yang. How do you feel of this new, they keep mixing and matching the teams. How do you feel of Team Quinlan and Fett? You like them? Do you think they have as much fun as Satrakian and Fett did, or what do you think?
For me, they're a little too similar. They're both very good they both respect each other. They're both good at what they do.
That's true.
And they don't really seem to step on their toes. They're both actually kind of loners, and so they're okay being around each other just because they're both pretty quiet, unless Lady Fringe is hanging out with us. But did Quinlan get some new markings?
Oh,
has he always had those? They seem
it's tough. Maybe out by the firelight they look especially
a little Strigoi Botox, maybe.
Well, we saw in this episode he's good at healing himself.
That is
true. So certain scars he can't heal though. And I have to be honest, I think this pair of Fett and Quinlan, aka Strabone, as we like to call him.
Oh yeah.
I think they're best when Fett is being his most fetish. You know what I mean? When Fett is turning on the charm for the ladies.
Sure.
Or when he's quippy and like, hey, we'll get to it. That's when I think this tandem works the best, because Quinlan is like the taskmaster. Hey, we got to let's get the bomb. Why are you wasting time? getting your Strabone taken care of. You know what I mean?
Yes, we do.
Do you know what I mean? Here, let me show you. Let me go back
No,
to
that's
the
okay.
first episode of the season where
That's quite all right. That is
So this
quite
person they rescued back in the first episode, who apparently knows where this top secret silo is. And listeners, I want to point out real quick, I used to hear the word nuclear mispronounced a lot. So a lot of times I'm going to mispronounce it. I know I'm mispronouncing it. I can never get myself to not say nuclear.
Nuclear.
And so, yes, I apologize. I'm going to try to just say missile silo.
Perfect.
But this is the team. We find out that this should be top secret. We know the master, and we know his evil minions have been trying to collect all the nuclear weapons. Do you want to have any guess as to what that could possibly be about?
No.
Is that possibly what F finds out at the end of the episode? We will see. But Team Fett and Quinlan, they go out to this secret place, and this person who knows where the silo is, he told them there shouldn't be anybody here, but once they show up, they find out, okay,
yeah. And
this has been Strigoi.
Before we enjoy this scene, I just got to do a quick fact check. It says the little crawl that this is launch site 12. It's actually launch site 16. So just want to clarify that.
Fake news crawl.
It may change a couple of things in this sequence here. So
now I just assumed that this party that Fett and Quinlan are a part of were all good guys like them out on a plan. But it turns out these other guys are like, yeah, we just want to scavenge stuff.
Right.
You and the scary monster Quinlan, you guys go on your own. So I thought that was a bit of an interesting reveal that I wasn't sure about.
It is interesting, because it's like if you are just sort of scavenging and you want to be pretty mercenary, I wouldn't do it around a Strigoi that could, hang out in the middle of the day and, kill me, so easily.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I probably wouldn't do that. So Fett, now this was kind of fun to see because
I'm glad you said fun because I also thought it was fun. Tell everybody what we're talking about.
Well, as it's hard to remember for some of us because we're no longer seeing Fett with his badge. But the fact is, he was a New York City rat inspector, and knows tunnels and he knows going underground, and so it's nice to see him get to use some of his skills. Now, Strabone. Knows how to fall into tunnels after he's been shot. Strabone did not have any training from our friends.
Well, I just want to say another reason why I found this moment fun and I really enjoyed it is it's almost like I remember when we used to kill these things with silver bombs.
Oh, hell
Fett
yeah.
drops another silver grenade down there, and I was like, okay, this is great. But shortly after the silver bomb went off, Quinlan took one in the shoulder. He falls in there. What if there's silver on the ground that's hurting poor Quinlan?
Right. Something is in there. Something shot him. We don't know what.
It could be a Strigoi somehow. Yeah, I mean, this is serious. This is interesting.
Well, it's serious enough for Sexy Fett to pull out one of his patented Sexy Fett line of adult novelty toys to see what is going on.
Right, it gets shot. I thought it was a dentist mirror for when the dentist wants to stay away from somebody with bad breath.
Ask Lady Fringe. It's part of the novelty line. So it does get shot off, unfortunately. So Valentine's Day is ruined. But Quinlan is alive. I thought for a second he might be dead.
Oh, boy, that would be a
foolish thought.
Right.
But he's merely horribly and disgustingly wounded.
Right, from not only being shot, but from falling all the way down there.
And the silver's not helping. And actually, he uses some of the silver to kind of cauterize the wound a little bit. So once he shoves his Strabones back into place, once he gets them back to where they're supposed to be, he sort of seals it up. So we got to figure out what we're doing. They're surrounding the silo. Who could it be down there? Roman's trying to figure out if it's one of his buddies.
Yeah, he's calling out names,
but we don't know. And we suspect that there were some Strigoi because Roman tells us when they roll up, this door is 80 tons.
Yeah,
who got it open?
How
couple
could
of guys
they have gotten that up?
Right. So something is definitely up.
Well, we're going to find out what's up because who's going to go in and rescue his partner?
Oh, is it Nora's mom?
Nora's mom, not
Chloe O'Malley?
We love Chloe O'Malley. No, it's, hey, Strigoi, I'm coming to get you. Hey, Strabon, it's me, Fett. Hey, I mean, a guy with a Russian accent going into a missile silo, he's going to get shot.
Possibly, but that is also how Putin became president.
In missile silo in Russia, gun shoots you. I'm sorry.
We're also going to do a little bit of a review of Glow later on, which is a great show on Netflix. But we're talking about The Strain on FX, people.
I hold on. I thought, obviously, I didn't think that Strabone or Fett could get killed, but this show does do action well. It does do tense moments well. I feel some of the weakness this show does, we're going to get to an awful lot in some of, isn't this a social commentary point we're making? When I always think it should just be fun. It should just be, go
it's a
at
romp.
it. Right. It should be a romp. In this episode really felt like a romp. And as you said, Fett getting in the hole. Fire in the hole, Fett. Fett in the hole.
Indeed. It's the first time he's shouted that outside of a bread truck in a long time. Sorry.
That is a great callback, listeners. Listeners, go to our Facebook page and tell us if you're getting all these callbacks to the first season.
Or if we should just stop.
So what did you think of this guy? He's heard people calling, hey, this soldier in here.
He's got to be, he's been there for God knows how long.
Oh, that's a good point. How long he's been there?
Had enough Chef Boyardee to...
Somebody has ripped off this, what was it, a 90-ton lid to this place?
Yeah.
That would freak you out.
I would like to think so. He kind of reminds me of a, we have so many... great actors resembling other great actors. So so we have poor man's Christoph Waltz.
He had a great episode in this one, but yeah.
I'm going with poor man's Shia LaBeouf.
That is a great call. Poor man Shia LaBeouf.
Ring the shame bell on yourself, Bubba. Ring it.
Yeah, I should have caught that because he is a poor man Shia LaBeouf. And what did Shia LaBeouf star in that this guy's in? Holes.
Oh, man. That is true. So bringing it all together. So Quinlan really is for it's fun to see Quinlan a little bit handicapped,
right?
And so he's sort of stuck. Now Fett is trying to sweet talk PMSL and get him to
poor
stop.
man Shia LaBeouf. He wouldn't fall for this sweet talking, but you also don't want Fett to kill him. You have a feeling that poor man Shia LaBeouf is a good guy. He is kind of acting the way anybody would act if they had been through what this guy had been through.
Exactly. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. And so while maybe this does feel like just a problem of the episode that, like a this single episode adventure part of it, I didn't want him to die. I did want this to come to a resolution. But I also
when Quinlan says, so be it, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
I actually thought he was sort of like, you know what, so be it. I haven't had lunch.
Oh boy, that would be tough.
But that
because Quinlan has been really good about not turning people. That's one of the reasons I think we like Quinlan is he doesn't just turn everybody else. He likes to like get a goat or get blood in a bowl, and so that it's tough.
It's tough, but he doesn't actually do anything to the guy other than kill him.
Right.
Other than kill him,
it was a good clean.
But but other than that, I mean, he's just as full. Or I'm sorry, he's just as hungry as the episode started.
So some innocent poor chump who was doing quote unquote the right thing, but he was thwarting our heroes. He has to die.
Yeah.
And so our heroes, nothing is ever easy on the strain.
No.
Nothing is ever easy on the strain. One problem just leads to another problem. Mm-hmm. So here
you get in a fight with your dad, what happens? You blow up New York City.
Right. But what I'm saying is here, Dakota storyline ends with, well, we do have a nuclear bomb, but we can't use it without this other piece.
Well, they really don't have the nuclear bomb. They crack open, sort of the warhead,
right?
And it looks like they got something, but they open it up, and they don't seem to be too worried. And I don't know anything
didn't he
about
say there was
nuclear
flesh?
bomb.
Didn't he say there was flesh-eating bacteria on it?
Yeah, normally you see the guys with the suits, like the radiation suits and something.
Maybe they've all had so much radiation from Zach 2.0's urban redevelopment plan.
I suppose that is probably true. But radiation, infrared might have some sort of impact on Quinlan. But no, it's not there. Nothing to worry about. So this has sort of been, as Sexy Fett says, I've never actually heard anyone say Wild Goose Chase as Sexy Fett just said it. So
hey, Goose, it's me, Fett.
Fett.
So Fett assumes that what they need was taken by a muncher convoy.
Right, for something. And, I mean, at this point, could things really get worse for people? Like, how much worse could they get?
Man.
And I know you never want to say,
boy.
Can't get any worse than this, but it seems like they're playing with house money.
Boy.
They're playing with house money.
Because it can't get any worse?
Well, it can get, look, it could get worse for Lady Fringe if Sexy Fett shaved his beard. But, I mean, these are small things.
So they've got a new mission. So this mission to get a nuclear warhead has just led them to another mission. We've got to find the muncher convoy, Doc.
We've got to find it.
And so everybody knows I love Fett. Everybody knows I love my own impersonation of Fett. But that was, to me, the weakest storyline in this episode.
Oh, okay.
I gave it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a good episode, but I thought that was the weakest of the three kind of stories in this episode. That was the one that didn't thrill me as much, just because it was, okay, we're trying to get from point A to point B, and now we need to get to point C. The fact that it didn't seem to advance anything, that was the one I enjoyed the least. Where do you want to go next? Do you want to go to Philadelphia, or do you want to go to New York City?
I say let's get a rope. Let's go to New York City.
Oh man. I am very tough on this train. I love all my voices. I love mocking this train. But watching this episode, I really began to think of what a brave choice it is to make a quote-unquote cute little boy one of the villains and one of the terrible characters in the show. What they've done to Zach 2.0, this wasn't an accident. This was on purpose, and that's a brave thing, to make a bratty kid actually be a bratty kid and allow the audience to dislike him.
How many?
I think that's actually something I really admire. And even though Zach 2.0 once again shows the small traces of humanity that are in him about, oh, well, maybe I can get food for this girl and her friends, and hey, why do we have to treat humans so bad? The fact that they've made him such a terrible SOB, I actually kind of like.
Well, you like it. I like it. I'm not sure any of the 12 to 14-year-old children of the writers of this show like it. But
Dad, why did you make the character who's like me such a jerk?
But
it's brave. It's something you don't see every day.
It is. It's fun. And Zach 2.0 doesn't always have a lot of good stuff to do. He looks like he's treating the rat.
So when we first see him, it's like he's pulling out his buddy Ben. Ben, the two of us can live no more. Why? Because he's feeding him to a cobra. Zach 2.0.
Do cobras eat rats?
On the strain.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
And so who comes in but a cute human girl? We assume
in a French-made outfit.
And I'm going to say I assume a human girl. I never actually saw her eat any of this fruit. I would love it if there was a twist that she was like poor man's Christoph Waltz.
Maybe that's why the little feeler is so...
protecting it. But there's also a chance she is just what she seems. She's somebody who's getting these bars. What do you think is in these bars that's so creepy that they're feeding to the humans? Yeah, nothing good. But she comes in. She's got to clean up after Zach 2.0. And this jealous feeler, when you have women fighting over you, that's
High five, Zach.
That's when you want to dance in an elevator like Zach 2.0. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, that is really one of the real tragedies about New York having been destroyed by a nuclear weapon is there were so many good elevators that people could just go into and dance.
Right.
And we can't do that anymore. But except for Zach. Zach has his working elevator. So he...
Well, who's in the right? I'm going to ask you
feeler.
a question. The feeler is in the right?
Yeah, go with the feeler.
Or is the girl in the right, hey, people I'm with are starving. This guy's got food. Let me get him food.
Well, I
think the feeler's right? Like, possession is 9/10 the law. Do not steal?
Typically, yeah. I mean, but the fruit was just sort of sitting out there in a bowl. Basically, it looked like in a, kind of in a kitchen area.
Yeah.
So...
Well, Zach's got, Zach 2.0's got to eat. And then he's also got a stalk.
He's got a stalk, and...
He follows French Maid out into, just what must be the worst place on earth, New York City.
Get a rope.
After the Sturgoy.
Was it surprising to you that she just could walk out of there and quit? I mean, that doesn't seem to be, really an option for people in...
Right. How did she even get this job? This partnership, I think we're going to... If you can imagine something terrible, I think it's going to be even worse. What the master's plan is with the humans who are still around. You would think this is your boss. As crazy as Zach 2.0 is, you're cleaning his room, yet when she's off the clock, she's like, leave me alone, don't follow me. Until he starts showing off and saying, hey, I can protect you. Look, here's a creepy Sturgoy coming up. I just do the Sturgoy Wi-Fi.
Yep.
The master sees it's me.
This is basically
good.
This is basically what I do to be Bubba's wingman when we're out hitting the clubs. I'll pretend to be really creepy and.
I thought you were going to say like the Sturgoy, you get women to turn around and walk away from me, wingman. Good work.
No, but then you get to say, oh, don't worry, he's with me, and I'll tell him what to do.
Oh, all right.
And my eyes glow red, and it's totally fine.
Why do you think does this French maid? Does she actually have an attraction to Zach 2.0?
No, for God's
Or
sake.
is this, I'm starving, I'm in a room with people my age who are starving.
Well,
I've got to do something.
Let me backtrack.
This guy has some power.
Often it's hard to tell those feelings apart. She's... I think that, life is probably so miserable where, anyone being a little nice to you... and you're getting something that you normally wouldn't, is probably going to be, you're probably going to appreciate it. Even if, you're engaging with them for ulterior motives, even if you don't really trust their motives. I mean, this is probably the best day she's had in a while.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it seems...
She's getting an exclusive museum tour with Zach 2.0. And let me say, as a single man, I've done some first dates at museums too. They normally are an okay thing. They're normally okay.
Well, this is not just a date in a museum. This is some kind of wonderful where they go to the museum all alone.
Yep.
And they get that cool guy. Was it Elias Koteas?
Well, I'm not as old as you. I don't remember Some Kind of Wonderful. Was that a magazine?
Yep, it was a magazine.
Yeah.
It was an offshoot of Life magazine. No, so they head to the museum, and
Zach's got some great pickup lines.
Oh,
tell me about your parents.
Yeah, tell me about your parents. Oh, also, sorry I killed them.
Right. Well, they died in the. My parents, they died when some jerk blew a nuclear bomb up on the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, so that wasn't Zach.
Oh, that was Zach.
That was Zach.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And so, of course, when you're responsible for a hot girl's parents being dead, change the subject.
Well, change the subject. See, I was a little surprised because on the one hand, yes, you could change the subject. On the other hand, you could go the bad boy route.
Oh, do you think that's what he's trying here?
No, I think he's got his collar kind of up. His hair's,
Yeah.
Sort of messy.
He's doing like a Zayn look a bit, or a Harry Styles messy look. Zach's rocking it. He's even got mascara on, I'm quite sure. But Zach, after he went full Donald Jr. and killed a wild animal, now he's at the museum and he sees this stuffed tiger and he's like, I killed you.
Right. So, I mean...
They're dead. Sorry.
Look, I think this is... Okay. If you had to tell your crush
right,
that you killed her parents...
I would never... I'd come up... I'd change
It's going to come up. It's going to come up.
No.
It is probably going to come up. What else do you have to talk about in New York City?
She's starving. So, let me tell you about all the food I could give you.
All right, that's fair. I would probably say, look, I may have been involved, but don't worry about it. I also killed a tiger. Again,
this girl,
Zach 2.0,
she and all her friends are eating partnership freedom bars.
Right.
I'm very worried about what are in those partnership freedom bars. She says that some of the other kids she's staying with, it's making them sick. Zach... He's getting a little smile. He's like, all the food you want, girl. And she's smiling back at him. She finally asks what his name is. Abby is down with Zach 2.0.
Well, can you blame her? Don't answer that. No, it is. It's nice to see. Zach doesn't really deal with many people. I mean, obviously, lovely Kelly, Golden Maple Leaf Award winner Kelly.
Yeah, his mother
was not a person for a very long time. She appeared to be a person,
right?
But
Zach is a kid. We may not like him. He may drive us nuts. But here he is acting. I don't want to say like a real kid. I think even real kids would prefer to be around humans. But he's had a bit of an ego trip. I can get food to my girl.
So you're telling me, Bubba, I got to call you out on it. You're telling me if you got to set off a nuclear bomb and get to go to a museum whenever you want and have
and to have an army of monsters, leave me alone.
And you get to kill a tiger. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. What average kid wouldn't take that?
I hope every average kid.
Thank you.
And Zach is feeling so well, he's trying to get out from under the master's white thumb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, look, he's ready to branch out. He wants his own. He wants his own thing now. So he goes to the Chrysler Building. He goes all the way up. He goes to see the master.
Right. Why can't we give him food? Why can't we treat these people nice? And this is a real. When you're a horny teenage boy like Zach 2.0, and the master's like, listen to me, you do what I say, or else all your special treatment goes away. The master blackmails him. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good idea. He is threatening to take away probably the only thing Zach 2.0 is happy about other than killing a tiger, and that is he's got a girl.
He does,
and he talks trash about the human psyche. Like the master is programming Zach, and I love it.
He definitely is. He's also all the things he's talking about. Vanity and capitalism. These are all things that Eldridge Palmer definitely had in spades. So it's a little ironic that his vanity and his lust for power and his love for dominating others drove him to want to team up with the master and become the master. So
I think that Mork, that is a great point.
Well, maybe Zach should mention it.
Oh well, Zach is not, and if unless Palmer Master puts on a French maid outfit,
no,
Zach is not thinking about it. You know what? Let's do it right now.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we won't put on the French maid outfit. But I think it's important to see some of the cut scenes from Master Palmer and Zach 2.0. So we take you to...
Oh, this is actually really... This scene is really important.
We take you to Master Palmer's lair.
Master Palmer's lair.
Let me tell you, Zach, about the problem with humans. Their vanity.
Is it getting a driver's license? Because I really want to get my driver's license.
Their vanity, their selfishness. Humans are the worst. I have a collective mind of thousands, hundreds of thousands of humans going through it.
Great. So I can always ask you for directions no matter where I am when I'm driving around in this brand new car that you gave me.
Your mother.
I don't know
I
how to
have
drive
her
it.
consciousness, too.
Sure.
Listen, her consciousness. She
I
would
think-
often look at you, Zach, and say, there's no way this kid came from my loins.
Well, you're forgetting that I'm Zach 2.0. So I think you're being a little cruel and defensive because maybe, Master,
Yes.
maybe you
Yes.
claim to have all of the
many
world's
humans.
consciousness, the
I
entire
do.
history of the world,
Yes.
but you can't show me how to drive. Do you not know how to drive? Maybe being in the back of those limousines, all those you don't know how to drive. What?
I had one driver named Gus.
What do you have
Gus
to teach me?
picked me up at the airport and brought
I'm moving
me
out.
here.
That skinny, starving girl who doesn't have any fruit, I bet you she knows how to drive.
What? I had another driver back in my other form, Fitzwilliam.
Oh, Fitzwilliam. Did he have a
Remember-
brother?
I'm going to say yes. And see,
In that case, I'm not going anywhere.
okay, so Zach,
That was important.
that was really how it went down.
Basically.
Zach, do you think
No.
Zach is being groomed to be the new master? That's what it feels like to me. That's the only reason why they're keeping him alive. They keep saying Zach has promise and potential. Well, he's shown the potential to blow up, kill all humans. So why wouldn't the master, who is in old, decrepit Palmer's body, want to get in a young body like Zach 2.0?
Well, the master kind of brings his own, he's got his own wind in his sails, so
Right.
He doesn't need the body to be, this isn't the hidden or species, He can basically be strong and deadly and powerful in any body. And he had been, he was in a hunchback's body for years and years, centuries and centuries. So I don't think he really needs Zach's body, but it does bring up the question, okay, well, what is the end game?
Yeah, why do they care
What do
about
we-
Zach 2.0?
Why do we care about Zach 2.0? Is it just to get to passive aggressive? If they want to do something else with nuclear weapons, do they need
And they
Zach?
are going to do, and the show is leading us to believe they do have a plan.
Right. So I don't know.
Well, how about this? Zach can cross bodies of water where they can't freely. So they need somebody to help him out. Maybe Zach is going to, we were joking, but maybe Zach will become the driver and he'll learn how to drive.
He'll learn how to drive and maybe captain a tugboat.
Right. Yeah, you got to cross this water somehow. There aren't bridges everywhere. I think that's a really good call. I want to get to the final New York scene, which as much as I mock Zach 2.0 and I enjoyed that part of New York, poor man's Christoph Waltz, Eichhorst.
Yeah.
He is golden in this final scene, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think the master, we'll get to why the master's feeling down in a second, because the master's lost a lot of his peeps in Philly, city of Strigoi love. And
No other kind of love.
And Eichhorst come up. Why is Eichhorst still wearing makeup? Every other Strigoi goes around, looking at Strigoi. Eichhorst, you want to talk about vanity?
Yeah.
Why is he wearing makeup? What's going on here?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. Maybe they had a certain amount of wigs by union rules they had to use, and passive aggressive isn't wearing his. I don't know. I got nothing.
So
man.
Eichhorst wants to know what's going on in Philadelphia, and it turned out to be bump, bump, tainted blood. Whoa, whoa, bump, bump, tainted blood. Don't tongue worm me, please. I cannot stand the way you poison me. I love you, though you effed me so.
Bubba.
Now I've got a tank. Zach 2.0.
Hey!
Bum, ba-da. All right, okay, I could do that all podcast.
I wish you would.
Bum, ba-da, ba-da-da. So, Satrakian is getting the blame. That's who Eichhorst think. It's the Jew.
Oh, is he? Okay, but
So he
F
thinks
isn't
it's
also
the-
Jewish.
Oh, good weather, Steen? I don't know.
I don't know.
So, offending everybody this week.
No, I mean it's a question because
Well, sorry,
No,
Icor
this is
said
why
it.
I'm asking.
Icor thought
What if they know that Satrakian has been captured?
that is a great point.
Yeah.
If the master can see through everybody's eyes, he's not looking at every single.
Where the heck is Satrakian?
He's not pulling a Bran Stark and knowing everything everywhere.
Yeah.
But apparently not. So anyway, Icor says it's the Jew, or conveniently enough, or his buddies.
Right.
And so that is going to get Eichhorst involved. Eichhorst, this actor, I believe it's Richard Sammel. I want to give him credit.
He's terrific.
He's always been one of the best things on this show. Mm-hmm. He needs to be out there doing more. And so if this is going to send him down to Philly, I'm ready. Let's go. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think of all the actors on this show, I think the only two that I couldn't take in a scuffle would be David Bradley.
What do you mean you couldn't handle it?
Well, he, old
I
guys.
would knock you up with the octolumen.
Yeah, and Eichhorst. I think.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah,
There are a lot of great actors. The ones who've survived this long,
well,
they're all
which means
pretty
the
good.
one that I can, that I could, I take Tybo, Bubba. You know that.
You don't think you could take Master Palmer?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I could.
So let's get to Philadelphia. And this, we saved it to last. I think this is the best storyline in the episode.
I totally agree.
And this show, watching this storyline, it made me think that, oh, how I wish the strain had done more capers. This doesn't have the lightness, the silliness of like an Ocean's 11 caper, but this is a caper. This is a Breaking Bad problem. How are we going to get this poison-tainted blood, into the houses? And so this is a one episode off thing, most likely.
No, they have a very specific mission. They got something to do.
And it's a smart mission that makes lots of sense based on what they've learned.
We got the scientist being a scientist.
Right.
Bubba, I do have one question for you, though. What kind of essay did you write about food when you were a child, Bubba?
I didn't write any. Why do you ask?
Oh, well, because Scott did.
Oh. You're talking about your child, Alex, who's still alive and hasn't not still alive, but who didn't turn against me to
keep
blow
stirring
up
there, F.
nuclear. Right. Like, F changes the subject real quick on
Pretty
that.
quick, yeah. But no, so
I like Alex. Do you like Alex, F's new partner, new woman he's sure to get killed?
I
like all his other women?
I like the actress. I don't really like the character just yet, just because, the first thing we saw her doing was sort of like, we blew up, we were trying to kill 3 Sturgoi, so we killed 9 people too.
Right.
Well, that math just doesn't...
You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs, I've heard somebody say.
You're right, but what she was doing was breaking the eggs and then throwing the omelet in the trash.
Yeah, good point.
Except for one bite of the omelet. So I that part I don't love, but, they seem to be, connecting a little bit.
Was there any way, seeing this scheme, and remind me in the 4 years they've done this, did F ever come up with an idea of like, well, this Sturgoi, we need to be so that if they tongue worm a human being, it would kill them?
No.
So like, did F ever think about infecting human beings with something?
I don't.
So that
no.
the Sturgoi would stop tongue worming every human being?
Well, I mean, F did have.
Did he have a vaccine or something?
He tried to. He tried to do. Yeah, he tried to have a vaccine. He tried to play with the the transmitter in the brain and all that,
right.
The signals. He did have his own personal campaign of trying to spread a certain disease among other people, but it wasn't really connected to the plot of the show. It was just F. We're not proud of it, but F is he's got a certain prescription that he stopped taking.
He does.
So no,
But this caper is fun. It's a smart plan. Let's roll. I like it.
Yeah, this is definitely, it's definitely a good plan. And it's nice to see, we don't have the bread truck, but
no,
it is nice to see, okay, we've got our school buses and, these other vans. And,
right, we have some resources. They live in a world where the human beings still need to help the Sturgoi collect all this blood, the partnership, that's why it exists. And so F has got to be real careful. F, the master, would recognize F. I mean, I don't know why he doesn't recognize the Trachean. You would think he would recognize F. And so I think F's even behavior in this made a whole lot of sense about, when I won't be out front, I'll be the guy behind getting attaching the stuff to the truck. I'm tough on F a lot. I liked him in this episode. He did well.
Well, I did a lot too, but it does bring the question, well, why doesn't he, wear like a funny mustache or a wig so he can't be recognized? It might be, maybe it's a little fan service, but it could actually help in terms of him staying undercover. I mean, he's definitely been seen in Philadelphia, though. He was captured,
by
Strigoi. So he's definitely been seen. So how they didn't get back to the master, I'm not sure. But yeah. But anyway, so he's got tonight planned out at least,
right?
And that's all that counts.
And before the scheme can start, Alex, she doesn't mean to, but she doesn't know that she's just constantly kind of picking at a scab. She's like, oh, the nuclear blast went off at Ellis Island, and F has to say, no, it went off at the Statue of Liberty. She thinks maybe it was enemies or something, and he says, no, it was the Strigoi. She was like, well, I thought, how could they get to the Statue of Liberty? I thought they couldn't cross water. And F having to say that great line, they had help. The show, I don't think, has ever done the melodrama well, but I did like that moment. Sure. Corey Stahl, great job.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they do have good chemistry, and it's fun to see them working together. But I'd like them to. Well, it'd be fun for F to have to tell people that he's the father. So I don't know if we're leading up to that. Maybe we'll get there, but they have. This appears to be what I like to call a wacko device.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's got a doohickey, and then it's got a thingamajig.
Oh, well.
And then it's called a, what do you call it? All connected, and so...
It's all connected.
Yeah. So it's now, one thing that I am a little surprised at, so in last episode, when we saw that big old truck, the big old blood truck coming up to the factory... Maybe there was a human driver, but it did have some Strigoi
standing
escorts.
guard. Right? Yeah, it was a true partnership of evil, humans and Strigoi.
So we're not seeing that. So I found that to be a little curious that there's no Strigoi does come out when, hey, what are you people doing on the street? That kind of a thing. But there's no Strigoi. I mean, this is for the Strigoi, there's not much that's more valuable than a truck full of blood. So it was a little surprising to me that they're not keeping a closer eye on it. But, maybe...
Does that show...
Maybe it was chilly night.
Well, let me say, does that show just how powerful they've gotten? That they don't even have to worry in some ways. Like, okay, we've broken the human's will so much that we say do this and they do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfectly good reason. Yeah, I mean, they clearly have the upper hand here. So... maybe they don't need to, but...
And this was, the way the episode ends, these were tense scenes to me. About, okay, if they've all had a sip of that blood, let's go in and confirm they're dead. And in his team members, Alex, they're like, wait, why go in? They're probably dead. And F probably isn't good enough. I think that's a good line. It leads to the tenseness of him walking into a Strigoi nest. Good bravery from F. F had a plan. It was a smart plan. It worked. Bravery from F. Leadership from F. He has failed at these multiple times. I think it's okay if our quote-unquote hero fails, but sometimes when he fails...
Oh, what has he really failed at yet?
Well, I'm saying when he's failed at stupid plans, it made me, hopefully listeners didn't agree, it made me roll my eyes at F and love those other characters more. Here, give the man some due. He did a good job.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is great, and this is what I was talking about earlier, and I'm pretty sure this is what you were talking about earlier in terms of this is the kind of thing that the strain is perfect for. I wish they did
it's a
more
horror
of this.
series.
Yeah, and so...
Scare us. Get us tense.
There is, there's a lot of good reasons for them. Now, I was a little sort of surprised by this because we saw the last building that we saw the blood being, sort of pumped into was kind of like an industrial building.
Yeah, it looked like a
commercial
warehouse
building.
as opposed to this.
This is an old
the first place they
spooky
enter.
house.
Right. You're right. This is the ghost story spooky house.
Yeah, I'm glad they're going into it. It's what we want to see, and it's really well done. It's very tense. It's very fun.
But does he still not go in with a UV light? Has he ever, has any or silver grenades? I mean, has he ever thought about, hey,
well,
more than one way to protect yourself?
Right. Well, he's living in occupied territory, and
fair enough.
So it's probably a little tougher, but. They go down to the basement, and it looks like there's these weird feeding troughs.
Yeah, like blood troughs. Like the blood would pour in there, and that's where they'd get it.
Yeah.
But there is a jump scare when a living Sturgoy shows up behind him, wagging his tongue around. But as they keep looking around this house, dead Sturgoy. Now, I would still burn the house down. You gotta, probably it's not enough. There could be some dead in there. There could be some just, I don't know, sleeping.
Yeah.
But you gotta kill them. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, and, well, the coolest thing about it, and where I hope that this is going, is there is somebody on our team, there is somebody in the Mystery Machine, the Mystery Machine bread truck, who does know actually a little bit more about rat poison than F. And so this is a perfect job for Fett to help out with. They've got a plan, they've got a weapon, they can fight back. They've gotten some points up on the board. So we'll see where it leads, but they do a little more digging. And
you got to do some reconnaissance. This is part of a caper, part of a successful plan.
So this was a little confusing to me because now it looks like they're back in a. Did they switch build? Did they drive somewhere, or did they just go into the other?
Maybe they went to the actual warehouse building. You're right, and they find out that their collaborators, human scum. Ouch. You need every human you can get. Maybe it's tough for me to say, hey, these people bent down and that's terrible, but at the point humanity's at, you got to get people here.
Well, there's no other way to keep your health insurance, so I get it.
And so there's very important, we see that all across Pennsylvania, there's these sticky notes about we got these amount of units here, this unit here. Now, is a unit a human being that's providing blood? Is a unit like a liter, a pint of blood?
Oh, it's got to be. F says that it can't be blood because those trucks are gigantic. So 750 gallons is nothing in one of those trucks. So 750 of this, 50 of that, 100 of that. I don't think it's people as much as I think it is maybe some of Dutch's new friends who.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, that's a good call.
In terms of what the truly valuable cargo is. That's the only thing that I think it could be. We don't know what they're really going to accomplish, and it is a little, I guess, curious to me though. If that's the goal is to sort of procreate with the help of a human, wouldn't they just be creating more Strabones?
Right, Strabones who the master can't control.
Right. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this turns out, Bubba.
Well, the previews for next week show that they've got plans. They show that, once again, they're going to still be on the run. Mm-hmm. Things aren't going to go our way. But this is it. This is the final season.
There was a little bit. It looked like iodine. It looked like someone was going to have a C-section. So,
oh boy, Dutch. She should have gotten out last week when she could.
Speaking of Golden Maple Leaf Kelly, yes. But this was a lot of fun.
Listeners, you heard what we thought. It's very important to us. We're doing this because we love contacting and communicating with fellow fans of the strain. We want to know what you thought of this episode. We want to know what you love. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/double P podcast. That's the word double, the single letter P, the word podcasts, plural. Facebook.com/double P podcast. Tell us what you thought. I think this season 4 has started off stronger than some strain seasons, and so I'm excited to see if they can bring bring this show in for a great, awesome final season. How about you, Mork?
Well, I would like that, but I'd also like to see Zach 2.0 get his driver's license.
Oh boy. Zach 2.0. I respect the fact they've created a character that I hate who's a little kid, and yet I do hate Zach 2.0. There's nothing I can say.
Then he's doing his job.
Right. So, my name's Bubba. You can find me on Twitter at FitandTrim. That's FITTENTRIM, at FitandTrim on Twitter.
And Mork is at Extraordinary. That's extraordinary with the W in front of the final R.
And you'll hear us next week on
Got
Your Milk.
Who do you think runs the DMV these days? After a nuclear bomb.
And so when I was looking through your mom's consciousness, Zach 2.0.
So, okay, look, I'm not really good at parallel parking, but I don't think I need to worry
sometimes have sex
about
with
that.
your father.
I
like
also
this.
was thinking maybe I could get a motorcycle.